Hey everyone, this is my day 13 of working on the 100-day UI challenge. And while I was working on the challenge itself, I was constantly finding myself questioning as to what should be the right way, or what would be the best way to work on these components or variants. Because right now I had to use my deductive reasoning and my basic understanding of how the design system should be made. Using that, I work and build up on top of that. So right now for me, this profile photo, I can see that there are two variants for it, but there could be another way, much more effective in terms of creating or organizing the whole system. Even in terms of naming the color styles as well or naming the components. So I wanted to search for some resources which helped me improve that. So I took a little detour and tried to search for websites which helped me improve this. And in search for that, I've stumbled upon a website called Figma Best Practices. And in that, the first thing I stumbled upon was Figma variants. And you can see like this is the whole file they give as the play area. And there is a complete article you can go ahead and read. So I went through this and I tried to understand. Now I'm not completely done with it, but in today's progress, I was trying to understand and try to utilize that in my UI channel, right? So you can see that basically while working with variants, I wanted to understand what these states or what these particular things meant. Like for me, intuitively, I thought like variants equate to the multiple states, right? But in reality, there could be different properties, and the property itself could be anything, not necessarily a state, not necessarily a button state. So I try to think of another scenario apart from buttons. Like buttons are very intuitive in terms of creating variants. Like there is a hover state, there could be a tap state, there could be a click state, disabled, enabled. But in terms of variants, I try to create a property which basically just gives you three different messages. So this could be the pop-ups which is related to smart mail. So I took the assumption. Now this is not the actual pop-up that pops up in the Spark mail. This is just my assumption as to how it would be if uh, when a mail is sent, this is gonna be shown, or if a mail is drafted, this is gonna be shown. So this is just my assumption from the design language. Okay, this should be the best way it can be portrayed. And keeping that in mind, I created this variant. And in that, I specifically went into each layer and tried to understand what this state equals to outgoing means. And I found it particularly in few of the slides which mentioned how these things work. Basically, there are a key value pair, and every time you create a new key, there is going to be a value. And here the keys are state, and the value is the different variants for it. So as you can see that I have created the state. Now it equates to outgoing. Now I can change this particular name to anything. This is just the name of the property, and this is just the name of the variant. It is just the name of the variant. And instead of going here and just adding the particular state and values, particular property and value, I went here and used the layers panel in order for the name because it helps me understand how to use this in different scenarios. At least for me, apart from buttons, I was able to understand how I can use variants and organizing them in in this particular manner, right? Now, one thing which I felt happy about was when working when I was working with different variants, I was already incorporating some of the approaches. Like if I go back to the components page, and uh, as you can see that this particular item is already present here. I've taken instance of this and created these particular variants. So instead of creating like a, a particular sort by frame with just the text, a particular sort by frame with just the radioactive buttons, a particular frame with uh, just one particular instance, it would have created a problem because there would have been a lot of complications and very complex system of the design. And in the best practices, it mentions that you should basically use nested instances. For example, like in this itself, the message sent, or like if there was an icon present with it. Just for the sake of it, I can, let us suppose there was an icon present here, and I wanted to w- w- use the correct practice for creating variants. I won't just create message sent from with one icon, then another variant with message sent in this icon, another. What I'm gonna do is take this here, create a component out of it, and take an instance of it, and then use it inside. Now I have a set of components which is nested inside these variants, and I can use them. So it reduces the complications and actually improves the design's efficiency. So this is the thing which I'm working on right now, and today I spent a lot of time understanding the variants, and I will be going in depth as well. And currently I just, in today's progress, I created this particular thing and try to understand how Figma works from the backend. So thank you.